Alrighty, so the Korean live stream, or actually the JP live stream, is over, and we'll just do like a quick highlights. I just finished my stream and everything like that. If you haven't, subscribed or anything like that, feel free to subscribe, because then you'll know whenever I go live to sort of watch these things with chat, and you get to see my uploads and stuff like that. So, don't miss out. Subscribe. Anyway, it was very uneventful for a while, and I thought we were going to be getting a little bit more than we did. I can't remember exactly when they showed off the trailer stuff for the game. So they did show off this little bit of story, which was actually pretty cool. I know I'm kind of in the way. I'll hide myself for now. But we got to see this character who looks really, really cool. I'm hoping that he's kind of like Sigurd in the fact that he's going to be like a more PvP-focused unit. Because honestly, he looks sick. I love the way he's designed. And also, they showed off this woman right here, who I'm not really like positive on her name yet, because they, obviously none of this stuff is translated yet. But I'm pretty sure the girl's name is going to be Jormungandr, which is kind of weird because in Norse mythology that is the world serpent's name, and she just seems like a human-sized woman, not a gigantic snake beast. So yeah, this is all of this, I'm assuming, is from the newest chapter of the Ragnarok story mode that's going to be coming out sometime soon, or I guess within the next patch. But yeah, she seems really cool. Her boobs are on my head, which is a very big plus for me. I don't know, her design, A1, really can't complain about that. Other than that, it took them a while to actually show a lot of the stuff off. The biggest thing was we knew that she was going to be a playable character or a summonable character, because they are bringing back Crockshell, and one of the rewards, it seems, is going to be, I'm assuming this is her SSR outfit, which looks kind of like a military, general or some sort of like military-esque outfit, and she uses a whip, which is A-okay with me, I guess. So yeah, we knew that she was probably going to be having her own banner and everything. We weren't really sure because it took them forever to actually show anything off. One other notable thing is that they are going to be giving a holy relic to Margaret, which is actually pretty interesting. Obviously, this isn't translated yet. I don't know what it translates to. Some people in the chat were saying that it has something to do with increasing, damage dealt and decreasing damage taken. So I'm assuming it has sort of like the same sort of guidelines, I guess, as her buff card, and that would make a lot of sense to me. I think somebody was saying that it increases damage dealt by 5% and decreases damage taken by 5%, depending on how many either archangels or goddess characters you have on your team. So they're trying to maybe focus you down to using like the full goddess team or whatever. I'm not sure how true that is yet. Obviously, by the time I end up waking up, because I'm still up for the day, or up for yesterday, by the time I end up waking up, a lot of this stuff will get translated. I might make an extra video on it after it gets translated. I probably will, so I guess stay tuned for that. It probably won't be as soon as it gets translated, but it'll be a little bit later today. So yeah, hers seems kind of interesting. Obviously, it uses the deer materials and stuff like that, which I'm not super excited for because I kind of suck at the deer, but just like I originally sort of expected, they did show off a little bit of gameplay of the character herself. I'll hide myself for the moment so that way you can actually see the video. But yeah, shows off a lot of her skin for one. But it does show some of her like actual like skill animations and everything like that, which is pretty cool, I have to say. I mean, as far as like a whip character goes, I mean, it seems the animations are pretty standard as far as I'm concerned, but still looks good. Not really sure what any of the skills do. I think that one of the skills that she uses as far as attack skills goes, I'm pretty sure one of them heals. So because she is a deer only character, so she's basically going to be the equivalent of Magelda, but for the deer instead of the bird. And I know that's probably a little disappointing for some players because, whenever Magelda first came out, she was kind of like, do I really want this character? She's only good for one specific game mode, and even then she's only good for one specific boss. And Magelda has turned out to be one of like the most sought after characters at the moment in the game. So I definitely recommend that if you're at all interested in doing the deer, this is going to be a character that you're probably going to want to get. Obviously, take it with a grain of salt. If you're a global player, this won't come out for another 2 weeks or so. Feel free to sort of, you know, watch some JP content and stuff like that after she drops to sort of get a feel for what they think of the character and whether or not she's, you know, actually worth summoning for. But yeah, you can see she's got a pretty long passive. I'll try to move over a little bit. It's actually pretty significantly long. You know, she's got 2 physical, you know, or like 2 regular attack cards. I'm almost positive that both of them are AoE cards, and I can only assume that is because they want this character to not enforce Melee's passive. I think they're trying to keep players away from using Melee on the deer because it's so like color focused. That's just my best guess. I don't actually know for sure if that is the case or not, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm really looking forward to seeing what her actual skills do and what her passive is once it's translated. So yeah, that is obviously still to be determined. We have some of the outfits here. This is the one that we just looked at for the croc shell. We have one that somebody in my chat called Catwoman, which I thought was kind of fitting, and honestly this is the one that they end up using in the little showcase that they did, and it looks pretty good on the character as well. And then the other one over there, somebody said that it looked like a Sailor Moon outfit, and I have to agree. I don't know what it's going to look like on the actual character, but it looks cool. I can't really say anything about any of her costumes. Obviously, because she's a PvE character, like, and she's used for a PvE game mode, buying her costumes are probably not going to be super essential because she seems a little bit more supporty. You're using her passive to increase, I think from what my people in the chat were saying, it's going to do something along the lines of increasing all stats by 30%, which is ridiculously high, by the way. And you'll see later in the video, they do show off a couple of the substats and stuff like that for the characters as they're playing, and the substats get increased by a lot. So she seems a little bit more supporty. I don't necessarily think you'll have to, you're going to need to buy the outfits or anything like that unless you just really want them. I'll probably buy one of the outfits just so that way I can have the character look good, and I can increase their basic stats by a little bit through the outfits. But I don't think it's going to be necessary to own all of them unless you just really want to. They did show off the actual banner itself. It is a 600 mileage banner, which is to be expected at this point. 3% with a rate up on the new character, of course, so I'm assuming she'll be a 0.5%. That doesn't say that, but I can only imagine that's pretty much how banners go. Skadi, Thonar, and Magelda are going to be on the banner as well, so there's pretty decent value here if you need any of these specific Ragnarok characters. Obviously, like I said, Magelda is very sought after at the moment, so her being on the banner with the new deer unit is pretty good value. Of course, if you're looking to do Creature's Nest stuff, they're doing a little event thing. They did show off a little bit of gameplay with the characters. This is the first run that they did, but they were using the new character Alioni, Twigo, and I'm pretty sure this is the SR Blue Gil Thunder, which is just a really weird team, and I'm pretty sure everybody in the chat was agreeing that the only reason they were using this team was just to show how good she is with her passive. Obviously, this team didn't work. Twigo ends up dying at some point, and it just ruins the color wheel rotation. They can't end up beating the last phase, but going into phase 2 here, oh my god, we've already skipped it. So they just looked at the stats a little bit. They're gonna kill the bird with this right here. Let me see if I can skip forward a little bit. Okay, 123k on her card. I'm pretty sure that's an AoE card. And then look, they're gonna look at Gil Thunder's stats. We'll pause it and look at them really quickly, and then you'll see how much damage they deal, and it's absolutely ridiculous. So zooming in on Gil Thunder here, his stats are plus 30%, plus 70%, plus 30%, 30, 70, 70, and then the bottom one is 23.9. So all of those stats being increased by that much is ridiculous. It's so good. You can see all of his stats are pretty high. They're going to use some cards, hopefully, and you'll get to see how much damage the passive is actually helping do. So I'm pretty sure the Gil Thunder ultimate does an insane amount of damage. But her card goes first. 89k, which isn't anything super crazy, but it starts the color wheel. He deals 348,000, and then Twiggo on a level 1 deals 100k, which is pretty nuts. Obviously, the phase 2 of the deer on floor 1 has an insane amount of HP. I think it's like 1.7 million or something like that. So there's a lot of HP to beat through. So it's possible that the passive has something to do with depending on how much HP they have or whatever the case may be. I'm not sure on that yet. Obviously, like I said, I'll just have to wait until the stuff gets translated. But they did end up doing a second run as well where they used some actually decent characters. And let me go back really quickly because it's right before this. They end up, yeah, they use Escanor's ultimate right here, and watch how much damage this man does. It's absolutely ridiculous. Boom. 1.891 million damage. They almost deal 2 million damage, and that's with it just hitting one time. That thing would have did almost 4 million damage, which is just insanity. So that's nuts. They look at his stats a little bit here. He's got plus 83,000 health, plus 9,000 attack, plus 4,000 defense. They pull up the substats here, which, oh, I just barely missed that a little bit. We'll try to pause it on this. Yeah, so plus 46, plus 36, 46, 46, 36, 36. I mean, they're getting a ton of stats here. Obviously, those aren't like super crazy, like increased like we saw Gilthunder earlier, but just like it's nuts. Once they get to phase 4 here, they literally use these first 2 cards. Escanor's ult hits twice for 438,000 damage, and Deanne kills with 200,000. 2 cards. Obviously, Escanor's ult hits twice, but 2 cards killed the last phase of the bird, which is nuts. I mean, that's or the deer. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself, but that is basically the gist of it, of the whole live stream. The rest of it, they showed off a little bit, and they talked about the costume contest or whatever that's going on, which is pretty cool, but obviously I can't understand what they're talking about whenever they actually talk about it. So that is pretty much it. Like I said, a lot to be translated. Pretty interesting stuff. I'm pretty excited for the new character. I think the design is really good. I've really been wanting a character to like help me fight the deer, so hopefully this will be a really good one for that. I'm really interested to see what Margaret's new Holy Relic does as well. So that's, I don't know, it's a pretty cool patch. Looking forward to it. It's kind of weird that they're doing a banner back to back because they just released the Bond banner last week for JP, so that's kind of interesting, but I think it's going to be really cool. So I don't know how hyped you guys are about it, but I'm pretty interested. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Feel free to subscribe if you have not already. It's free, and I'll see you in the next one.